Hello everybody, sekejap ya. Hi, with organisms. Okay. There's the bin. This is where I will be working. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me at 4 p.m. I'm using yesterday's baju just as my promo video. This is from Alam dan Manusia. Ini baju rayaan. Hi guys. So I'm Natasha from Natasha Gideon. Some of you may know me as Mary Joel Kondo. But today I'm not going to talk about property. Today I'm going to talk about microorganisms. So I did a diploma in microbiology. I also did a degree in biomolecular sciences. But now I sell houses. So I know they're related, like totally. And so this really caught my eye. The fact that I can compost in an apartment. As you can see, small space. I live in a 939 square foot apartment in Setialam, and I was wondering how to be more zero waste, more low waste, and deal with food scraps since we've started cooking more. And so the RMO has really helped me with time management and how to actually like use my time to letak soalan dekat dalam the Q&A box yang kecil tu, and then I'll try and answer because I have just started doing Bokashi a month ago. I have a few videos that's on my page as well, so kalau you missed today, you can also go to my page and check out what happened during the first few months. Okay, so for Bokashi actually you boleh buat sendiri the bin, but for me sebab I malas, I bought the bin. So it's really cute. Yang ni kecil sebab ada 2 orang je dekat rumah ni, and we don't cook that much, macam sekali masak untuk makan petang dan malam. So this is enough for like a month or 2. There's still space inside for us to put stuff. But if you have a big family and you need to cook a lot, I suggest you buy 2 bins. Satu untuk you isi, you compost, and then when you leave this to ferment for 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, you can use the other bin instead, right? So I'll show you what's inside here later. There's already like really nice fermented stuff here from March, so that will be cool to see. Other than that, you have the Bokashi brand. So basically the microorganisms are in here. This brand is macam kayu, serbuk kayu plus inoculated organisms. But don't worry, you will not and so this, sebab this is also an organism, the smell shouldn't be bad. Dia basically it's fermentation, so dia akan bau macam jeruk, right? If it starts to smell bad, then that means your Bokashi compost is gone and you're not really doing it correctly. So what you have to do is like buat balik. So just make sure, I'll tell you later what you can put and what you cannot put in the Bokashi bin, okay? So the brand basically looks like that. Nampak tak? It's like serbuk lah basically. And this one I bought from a zero waste store downstairs. But what you can do is also buy online from Shopee. This one as well. Right. Besides this, you need a small macam cawan or bekas so that you can keluarkan the juices from the Bokashi compost as well. This is not McDonald's. So lepas you masak, untuk elakkan you buka benda ni setiap few hours, you're supposed to like open it very jarang-jarang lah. You tak boleh buka selalu sebab it's anaerobic, meaning that it doesn't use oxygen. The more oxygen that masuk, the less effective it is. So basically what I do is we put our scraps inside like paper bags like this. Ada kulit pisang lah. Sometimes I pun tak tahu ada apa kat dalam sebab I tak masak. Kat dalam ni ada apa? Dalam ni ada kulit bawang. And then you freeze it. You put it in the freezer or you can put it in your fridge. basically so that it doesn't really rot and there's no mold. Make sure that you don't put moldy stuff in your bin. Okay, so now the best part, I'm gonna open the bin. Ooh, I'll show you what's inside. Can you see? Am I the only person that's like excited by microorganisms? Because this is like, look at that. And to me, okay, so you can't smell it, but I can smell it. And dia macam masam-masam sikit. Masam-masam manis. So it's not supposed to smell macam so busuk that you can't handle the smell. It's just lightly fermented. So kalau macam you ferment jeruk ke apa ke, that's what it's supposed to smell like. It's so cute. I'm so happy. So the white mold is good. If you start to have black mold, that's when you have a problem. So basically, maybe not important, but the microorganisms used in this is lactobacillus. You may feel like it's familiar because it's in Vitagen, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So lactobacillus, Pseudomonas, and Saccharomyces. So three of these will help break down and degrade all your food stuff and all your food scraps. And then bila ada mold ni, the mold is the best part because the mold stops pathogens from infecting your scraps. So it's a self-maintaining bin basically, and it's so great. So I'm going to put in some stuff. I'm going to put you down here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the scraps. I hope you can see. I think this is a better view. Right? So hancurkan everything. Masuk. If you just joined, I am not putting cheeseburgers in here. These are food scraps. But these paper bags are really useful tau. They're so great. Okay. And then last one. So yang ni I ada some eggshells. Just make sure you crush them first so that dia senang sikit nak just help out the microorganisms. Okay. Now that everything is inside, I'm going to show you what's inside. So these are the scraps that I've pulled. Abang grab this thing. Ni scraps yang I dah kumpul, and what you're supposed to do is actually to press everything down. But before that, just put a generous amount of this in. Yeah. Feed your microorganisms. Ah, so it's like I have 1,000 little pets, right? That's so cute. Nanti kucing I marah. So you can have other pets. Okay, so as you can see, let me show you again. So I've covered it. It's actually not a lot, tapi sebab I think maybe the bekas terkecil, dia nampak macam banyak. So I've covered everything, and like I said, our keyword is anaerobic, so it has to be all pressed down supaya tak ada oxygen inside. I'm gonna get a pinggan. Hello, I got my pinggan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press everything down. Look at my bin. Sebaik-baiknya actually, you tinggalkan pinggan dekat dalam tu. Tapi rumah I tak cukup pinggan, so I guess this will have to do. I'll just push everything down. Everything dah penyek. So everything dah penyek. Can see that? Everything dah penyek. We will close this back. I'll put you back here so you can see me do it. And then the Bokashi bin ni, dia ada macam getah dekat sini to ensure that it's really kedap. So you gotta really press it in. And that's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. After 1 week, every once a week, what you should do is, I tak tahu mine ada juice lagi ke tak, but they should have some juice inside tau. Okay, mine belum ada lagi. But basically, kalau you buka ni, every 1 or 2 weeks, you should have some juice from the Bokashi. And that juice, you boleh buat 3 benda. 1, you dilute and you give your plants. It's really good food for the soil. Number 2, you pour the 100% extract tu, you pour it in your drain or your sink, because ianya akan mengelakkan tumbesaran algae di dalam sinki anda. So that's great. You tak payah beli macam, you know, other kinds of like Dettol ke, or like, you know, you tak payah beli dah. You can just pour it in your drains and voila. Number 3, what else can you do? I tak ingat. But basically, food for your plants, and you can pour it in your drain. So that's the juice. Now once you're done, right, and you dah habis buat benda ni dah 4 weeks, right? What do you do with the stuff inside? Number 1, you boleh gaul-gaulkan, and you boleh, if you duduk dekat landed property, I think it's easier, but you can just korek tanah and pour everything inside. Leave it for about a month and it will totally like degrade. It will also be great for your soil, because of all the nutrients and the sugar, the carbohydrates and all the breakup. It's just really amazing for the soil. Number 2, kalau you ada area in your house yang you know ada worms and you tak geli dengan worms, you can feed it to the worms, and that is called vermicompost. So feed those to your worms, and they will break down this even further, and then bila dia secrete, your tanah akan jadi sihat walafiat, gembar-gembur. Thirdly, kalau you duduk apartment macam I, what I do is, you can either collaborate with a friend who lives in a landed property who has a garden, and you can give her or him soil, basically compost for their soil. Kalau tak ada, macam the neighbours next door, apartment Sri Kasturi, they have their own designated sayur farm. And so anyone who has scraps or compost, they all have like a community thing together. I'm trying to get that for our apartment complex, but belum lagi. Besides that, follow Zero Waste Malaysia on Facebook, and they have the map for anything zero waste. So if you're nak cari tempat untuk compost, or you nak cari macam dulu ada kebun-kebun bangsa, you boleh hantar your compost there. So look for that. Look for the map. Anything that you want to look for that's zero waste, cari yang dekat dengan rumah you. Like, so for me, I found this betul-betul dekat depan rumah I in Setialam. There are two zero waste stores for this. Yang ni tak ramai orang jual sangat, but on Shopee ada orang jual this bin, and ada orang yang buat sendiri their own bins. So that's great. And for composting, I am probably going to bring this to my grandmother's house, because there are banyak gila pokok, and I think that would help a lot. So that is Bokashi composting. It's really simple. We do it every 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks macam tu. Kumpul everything in the McDonald's bags, and keep it in the freezer. When it's time to open and close the Bokashi bin, you just masukkan, kapit, and then you're done. But sebab RMO, so I haven't been able to empty this yet. Not that it's full, but when it's full, nanti I'll go and bring it to whoever is in need of it. That's it. Kejap I nak tunjuk you macam mana I letak balik, sebab I rasa comel je. There is a specific small nook here that fits my bin. It's so cute. Yeah. So kalau you tak ada space, this is a great way to compost. Just look for a small space and sumbat your things there. Kalau freezer you muat, put as much scraps as you can, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to look at questions. It looks like the Mario thingy. Okay, tips for Bokashi if don't have the bin. So basically, bin ni, I think we can buka, right? Yeah, tips for bokashi if you don't have the bin. For me, sementara tunggu nak order tu, because I ordered and I think the thing came from China, so I think I waited 3 weeks for it. In the 3 weeks I dah terus kumpul dalam all these bags and I freezed them. I wanted to do one by myself, pakai one of my recycling punya kotak. Basically what you have to do is make a hole. Masalahnya kedai hardware pun tak buka sekarang kan, so you nak buat sendiri pun susah. Basically you have to just make a hole, put the pipe kat sini, sebab you need to make sure that this is dry as possible, so always drain it. And dekat bawah ni macam ada tapis, so either you use two bins on top of each other with the one inside ada lubang, or like this one, dekat dalam ni ada like this plate with kaki yang ada lubang, so the water can run through. I think my advice for like this period of time is probably order dulu kot. Tak pun, you try aerobic composting, which is without organisms. Yang tu pakai apa lah, I tak ingat lah. I think you have to use soil for that one. Yang tu you can Google aerobic composting. That's a bit easier, but less things that you can compost, right? I'm going to share with you things that you can compost and things that you can't compost. So you can put all fruit and veggie, seeds and nuts. You can put your hair and nails. Kalau jenis rumah yang banyak rambut macam rumah I, laki bini duduk rambut panjang, rambut banyak gila, we just dump everything inside. And then eggshells you have to crush. Bread, cakes, crackers, coffee and tea, make sure is the serbuk. Kalau you ada synthetic bags tu, it's not really good. Flowers or toothpicks, like bamboo toothpicks and like that. Things that you shouldn't put in is, oh wow, hello son, calm down. Things that you shouldn't put in is moldy and rotten food, large bones. Kalau you ada bones, you hancurkan. Help the microorganisms. Synthetic tea bags, like I said. Liquids tak boleh. Make sure that it's not too wet. And then jangan letak wet scraps, sebab nanti you akan dapat the black mold. And so those are things that you shouldn't put in, right? Can we put nasi and lauk tak habis? Can. Kalau nasi boleh, kalau lauk tak habis tu, just make sure it's not basah. Kalau basah tu dia akan menyebabkan tumbesaran kulat yang berlebihan, jadi kita kena elakkan the black mold from happening. White mold is great, black mold not good. Tunku Muhammad, what did you add into the bin just now? Not the scraps. That was the Bokashi brand. So the wheat, the bran and the microorganisms are all inside here. It's dried up. Yang ni ada cara nak buat sendiri, but it's very leceh. So just buy. That's my advice. Lagi, how much the rice? How much is that particular Bokashi bin? Does it come with the serbuk? So when I bought this on Shopee, it should be around 50 ringgit. I had a local supplier, tapi dia punya bin dah habis, so I cannot share his number with you sebab dia punya pun dah tak ada. Ni I beli dekat Shopee dalam 50 something. This one is about 10 ringgit for berapa gram ni? I tak ingat lah, but this huge thing is 10 ringgit. Kalau you pergi my zero waste store dekat Setia Alam, you bawa your own bag, it's like 8 ringgit. Yeah. So that's the best part about zero waste stuff. It's cheaper. Will it get smelly? So bau dia macam fermented stuff. So kalau macam bau jeruk, bau ni macam bau roti yang dah lembab. There's yeast on the roti, right? Yeah, so it smells like that. It smells very acidic, but it also smells a bit sweet. It shouldn't smell foul. And sebab dia kedap, it shouldn't attract bugs juga. You shouldn't have like cicak ke lalat ke burung. So it's really not a bother. Like it just, dia baik je. Dia duduk je kat situ. Next question. Do you have to wash the scraps first? Tak, I don't wash. So every time we prep our meals, kan kita memang basuh dulu before we potong kan? Then you just campak the scraps in your bag and then lepas tu you boleh masukkan. As long as it's not moldy, it's fine. Not a problem. Lagipun kalau you nak buang sisa-sisa, macam takkan nak cuci dulu kan? And then Tunku tadi I dah jawab, what I put in the bin was the Bokashi brand. Yeah. So basically, kalau you nak search Bokashi bin, composting bin, Bokashi brand, these are the things that you can look for on either Carousel or Shopee. Lazada I belum try. My favorite is Shopee, and this is not a paid ad. Okay. So I beli dari situ. I try my best to buy from local sellers, which may be slightly more expensive, but at least you know it's coming from a local business and you're supporting local businesses. Are there any other questions? Can I just dump it dalam my potted plants? Boleh. So what you do is you just ambil sikit, you korek-korek tanah, and then you make sure you cover it up. So dalam your fermentation process happens here for 4 weeks, and then dia akan terus compost in your potted plants for the remaining time that it's in your basu lah. Tapi letak sikit-sikit. Like don't fill it up to the brim, sebab it needs a lot of soil to continue that composting process. And I think your plants will be very happy. I belum try, but I will, insyaAllah. Can we just tekan all the scraps with hands? Boleh, tak ada masalah, but make sure everything like goes down mampat. Some Bokashi experts sarankan you tinggalkan, wow panas. Some experts sarankan you tinggalkan the pinggan dalam so that dia lagi kempis. Can the scraps be wet? Like insides of ikan and the likes? Can, but make sure it's eliminate as much wetness as possible. Jangan basah sangat. Like don't tuang milk inside or air yang tak habis, jangan buang. Jangan put inside. And if you rasa macam okay, hari ni punya scraps macam basah, besok lusa you cuba buka the tap more often so that dia punya basah tu kurang. Basically the idea is make sure it's airtight, make sure it's tak basah. That is the idea behind anaerobic microorganisms. Kenapa zoo you suka? Sarankan is my favorite word. Ada apa has been wet tu dah habis. Yeah, I have done all the questions. Yeah, so that's Bokashi composting. It's for me it's easy so far, alhamdulillah. Waiting for it to be penuh, and I think once dah siap and ready to put in my potted plants, I will record that as well. So far I dah buat the first step and the second top up in my Instagram. Kalau you nak tengok, it's on my IGTV. There's a lot of difference. The first one was full of colours, the second one was a lot of white, and then macam tadi I tunjuk kat you kan, dia dah banyak lagi the mold. So I'm quite happy. I'm excited with microorganisms. So tu je. I hope that is that all? Yeah, that's all. I hope to drop me a DM, or you can check out my videos. I'm supposed to sekejap. What else? Today's outfit is sponsored. It's not sponsored. Today's outfit is by Alam dan Manusia. I nampak macam pekebun tak? Pekebun yang tak ada space dalam rumah. Do join Pasar Seloka TV for more of their Seloka TV slots. I think they're all really amazing. Follow me on Instagram, Natasha Gideon. If you want to